Okay, welcome to another shop talk. I know it's been a while since I've done the shop talk, so I'll talk a little bit more about making the videos in a minute. But let me show you my lovely walk to work now. So the front of the building is completely finished. The old workshop, the new workshop. We found this cover to be amazing. I was possibly going to use it with my family, but I'm not sure if I am now. Well, I might do next year. But we've been processing wood under here, and it's been an absolute godsend. So this is a load of spalted beech. We're treating the woodworm. It's quite a lot of woodworm, but treating it a couple of times so that's done. It's going to make some wonderful tables. It's got quite a lot of this actually, resawn spalted beech. I think in some old videos you'll see me sort of milling this in the old yard. So the new yard is firming up, which is really nice. Definitely good enough, all of it now, to drive, park, lorries, all that kind of stuff, trailers. Not sure about the forklift truck on some of that. I'm hoping it's going to firm up, but there was a lot of drainage in that menage, so we might find once this really settles, we might have to go a bit heavier on some of the corners. But anyway, unfortunately we're really busy and the forklift truck is out of action. There it is there, jacked up. Had a leak on the servo for, not servo, what am I saying, a leak on the steering piston. Yes, that's the word, piston, steering piston. So we've been using it. You'll see little spots of oil everywhere. This is all from the forklift. We kept using it because we were busy, but we've taken it off and we should get it back Wednesday, so that's good. What's going on in here? So we are virtually tidied up. There is a couple of little bits here and some insulation stuff to stash. That's actually a little vacuum. I'm probably going to be selling that. That's a little vacuum that come with the CNC, and you'll see it's all brand new in there. That's probably going to be sold. Get that out of the way. So you can see most of it kind of next week. This will all be cleared back pre-fire. I've almost forgotten about the word fire, but say almost. So we can access all the slabs when the clients come to visit, because that's been very, very difficult, and just get rid of all these pallets and stuff out of the way. That's pretty good. This machine is a beast as always. I'm going to go in and turn the light on. Thing here, this is the Cube 20, is the baby. I did do a video on it before. IWM machinery, I'll put a link in the description. This easily keeps up with, in fact is more than we need here for like a 1/1.5 man setup. You just don't need any more. In fact, when we're doing tables, this thing's hardly running, which is a shame, because with the resin, as I've said before, there's not a lot of waste. If you're making the windows, the beds and stuff like that, then this thing's comes into its own. But you can see it's knocking these out at a rate of knots. God knows how much of this we're going to have over. Going to go around to a few places and maybe start selling it in the winter. I'm not sure yet. Just need to get a better system of storing it properly. We're heat shrinking the bags, which seems to be working well. So can't say that I'm disappointed with that. It just doesn't get as much use as I'd hope when we're table mode, but it will work out over time. Extraction room with a new big RO200. Hoping in the next 2 or 3 weeks to get the 200mm pipe on that duct in, so that we should get some really good extraction. This is kind of turned into, well, at the moment it's got firewood. This is the parking spot for the forklift. I think the lathes now coming out here. Air conditioning unit there, bits and bobs. It's a new, all finished. Got a nice new galvanized sort of trough for the join between the buildings, and for now that's what it's going to be. Potentially was going to be a bit of a spray booth, but let's see, not sure. Okay, so here we are in the new space. This thing's been working flat out. The beast, the CNC, let's put the light on. We do have a light in here now as well. So this has been pretty much working flat out. It generates some serious sawdust, so I'm going to be looking at updating the extraction when you're leveling slabs. I mean, I don't know if I've got a picture of this slab. I'll try and find one. But this slab, we're now at 70mm, and it's flat on both sides. Now, in places, this slab was about 120. Great big high thing here. So, no mistake, we've removed serious amounts of material, probably 2 whole bags from that extractor, just from this one slab. So that's why there's that much sawdust. It's not actually a lot compared to what we're doing. We've had a few issues with the dust extraction hood. and the multi-changer, which I might go into depth on YouTube. I'll definitely be talking to my Patreons. They'll be following along about CNC stuff. I'm no expert on CNC. I certainly don't want to fill YouTube with non-expert advice, but I will put some advice on my Patreon channel if you're interested in CNC. It's doing a really good job, and for what we've been doing with it, flattening these slabs, it's brilliant. It's just like having another member of staff. It's working away here. I am around when it's on. It is pretty noisy, but the plan is to seal off that area there and completely seal this off, because it is dusty. If you look here, it is pretty dusty everywhere. So we're going to seal that whole area off with folding doors just for loading. So I don't know exactly what system. I might use a bifold system like this, and then it's going to shut this machine into this room. So we'll get the front panel of this machine in here, and all the dust and the noise in there. So these are the next two slabs going on. I did a video of them yesterday when I pulled them out. It was a lovely sunny day, so I'll just show you a little cut of these two slabs, which is the next table going on there and then going on there. Okay, so this is a table for RJM machinery where I bought my Altendorf saw. So this is the very early stages. I've just selected a couple of slabs. I'll just take you through the process. So these slabs, they're looking for a table to replace their table in their meeting room. 2.1, which these are just over, by about 1.4, which would take us, if we cut the edges square, to about here, so it's perfect on each side. And then clear up the middle, have the resin in the middle, and I think they're going to have their logo CNC'd with resin as well. Really wonderful English slabs. The figuring on that, absolutely gorgeous. So they're going to head to the kiln. They're between 12 and 15 max. They've been air dried for about 10 years, but I'm just going to put them in the kiln. It's summer, moisture's quite high, so that will drop the moisture right down, level them off and get ready for the resin. Okay, so this thing is a beast. It's from Titman Tools. You've seen me using their 55, 60mm cutter. This thing is 100mm, and it is absolutely effortlessly flattening these slabs. It's unbelievable. I'll put a link in the description. This was an early one, but they're now actually selling this, and it is brilliant. If you've got a CNC, you cannot put this in a handheld router. If you've got a CNC, this is the beast. It's 100mm, carbide, changeable cutters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really, really cool. Goes into one of these CNC style collets, which is like mine, it's an auto changer. So this thing can go and pick up its own bit and drop it off. I will be doing more on this in the future once I get this thing fully hooked up and running, and we'll do some CNC style videos as well. Maybe even doing some slab flattening, high speed. You can just see these slabs being revealed, which is a really cool thing. So because we're using this really big, large bit, originally this machine was sent with this, and it worked really well, this dust hood. We quickly discovered they'd sent the wrong dust hood, because this thing would collide with the other cutters and knock them on the floor. They then sent the correct dust hood, which is this nice small one, and then we found that the large diameter cutter was actually cutting away all of the material here and destroying these. So we've come up with a bit of a, this has already done 2 slabs and it's not ruined it yet. We've got some spaces on here that are just about right, optimum, to keep the diameter of this large enough, but for it not to collide with the tool changer. So that's something we're working on. And as I say, once I get that sorted, I'll get onto the CNC videos. So as I said before, they're the next 2 slabs. They're going to be going on the CNC, and then they'll be making their way over here to the new cool table. This is the new 2022 updated cool table, liquid cool table. It's a beast. I've designed this. Again, there will be some plans coming. They'll be free to the Patreons as always. It's in a bit of a mess at the moment. We're still in clearing up mode. But I've designed this, all layers are the same. There's 3 layers, 3 levels, the top one obviously and the next 2. Now you can store sheet goods on there, obviously because I've got the CNC. If I start making templates or whatever else, it's a handy place to have them. I do have more storage, I'll show you in a minute. But my main plan was to speed up production of tables. If there's a table that's virtually cured, we can slide it out, bring it down, slide it onto there. And then even a second table could be slid onto there, leaving, you know, 3 tables on the go at once. Because once they get to about 3 or 4 days, depending on the heat into a cure, they could be moved. And long as they're still flat, this thing's level and flat on all 3 levels. The only difference being that this top level has the aluminium I guess I could do that on other levels as well, depending on the resin. But this top level has the sheet of aluminium, and I can't lift it. But underneath there is my pipe system for my water-cooled table. So that is liquid-cooled, and also air conditioning unit now fully installed, which will blow directly onto the table. So once this room is sealed, we should be in pretty good shape. This is the kind of electrics for the room. I've got to get that repaired. The huge three-phase. The mess we're into now this weekend, and that will bring me swiftly on to videos in a minute and why I'm not making many, is we're still not finished from the rebuild. So the latest problem is the closed circuit TV, which needs to be installed everywhere on the site. We have temporary CCTV, but the permanent CCTV feeds all come in everywhere. We were out on the barn yesterday. Still the ladders there, so we've got feeds up there and there. We've even got CCTV down by the kiln, so everything's covered for security, which is obviously really important. We've also finally reinstalled the old sink. That's all plumbed and working, so now have a sink. And the reason we've brought the sink this time into the workshop is because of the mess the workshop sinks get in. So I'm not really in the middle of nowhere, but I am quite away from everything. So people often arrive here and want to use the loo. I've spoke about this years ago on videos, and it is really embarrassing if you've got kind of workshop loo, and it's for clients as well. So we've now swapped it around and kind of updated our loo, storage area, and now washing hands, all the dirty stuff gets done at that sink, and that is absolute rule in here. So this is a clean space I'm going to show you now. My idea for this ply door, which was temporary, is I'm going to put nicer ply on there, and I'm going to triple hinge it, and it's actually going to be more clamps. So when you look at it, it's just going to look like a clamp rack. One of the clamps, an old clamp's going to be the handle, which I'm quite excited about doing at some point when I get a chance. And then you'll go into the storage area. This is going to be resin storage in a fireproof cabinet, quite near to the warm pipes, so the resin won't get too cold. Our little window's working well up there. We still haven't finished the ceiling in here. We're waiting for the new duct that leads through to the extractors. You've probably seen it before. So once the 200mm duct, the holes are cut for it, so there's not much mess to make. Once the big extraction goes in, I'm going to decide whether to have kind of a shelf storage or drop that ceiling, put long things up there or whatever. But down here is done the understair storage, which is good, and that bit at the end. And then my sheet goods storage is here, so it's not far from the CNC. You can have 2 lots and quite a lot of ply or whatever it is there, high pressure laminates. And then the client loo with the automatic light. Really pleased about it. I know it's just a loo, but at least, oh, someone's left the seat up already. So at least it's a clean, fresh environment for the clients to come, and they don't think we're a little scabby outfit, which I'm really pleased about. So onto the liquid cooled table. There is going to be plans available again. I think these are already available for Patreons. This is just of the profile, which I designed, showing you the cuts you'd need, cut list you'd need to buy for the table itself. And then also there's loads of pipe work under there. I've got a video I've seen before. I don't think we videoed this one, but what's quite nice, I've used a different cooling system. The other one was, that's it switched on. The other one was really, really noisy and vibrating. So I've come up with a kind of plan B. And again, once we get underway and everything's tidied up and we're ready, I will be releasing plans and maybe a private video of how to build this particular water-cooled table and what I used. Moving on, we're going to go into the main room next. It's only a short vlog. Just wanted to say, I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it, but I now do have, we also have a welding one. I do have all of the lift tables. So I've made all my own tops. These tops I made apart from one, which I'll show you, Ruby. This is the small baby one, the 300, and then there's the 300S, which I do recommend. That's a great table. If you're going to be working on it in feed and out feed of a sander, that's about on the limit. Otherwise it starts getting a bit heavy. And then the monster, which is my new workbench, is the 500. And for a workbench, I am loving this. This is the Rui panel insert. So multiplex, I think they call it. So you can use your sort of Festool style dogs. And then I've made an aluminium frame to go on that, and then sunk these into the frame so I can do my edge, put my side pieces in for side clamping. I've got other ideas for storing sustainers and stuff on these corners to make that. But this is a beast. This is far too big and heavy to be running around a sander, passing work in and out. But this replaced my multifunctional MFT. And the reason I use these tables, if you watch some of the videos, is we do work on really, really heavy slabs, like stuff like that, which you cannot lift on your own. So having one workbench with no up and down is just a nightmare, and everything sort of, inevitably you need to get stuff across from bench to bench, and then that's the weak link. So from now on, everything's on lift tables, that sits there or comes into the middle. Most of the time, we've been just constructing things in this lovely big room. Similar to that table's getting a bit of rework, it's been to loads of trade shows. And most of the time, that's what we're doing. So we leave this area really clear, and it's kind of like just a workspace. If we go in here, let's turn the light on. So we still don't have a light switch for this room. It's on a socket, still temporary. This room is virtually done. There is lighting going up there, not that we've needed it, for downlighters for bench, kind of workbench lighters, one there and one there. Other than that, this room is completely wired. The resin room and the resin room and the CNC room are completely finished. They're very, very simple. We've gone exposed trunking on these funky lights, just to keep it simple, try and keep the costs down and just have a nice white clean space. Alternatively, in here, which is kind of the main machine room, we've gone with the galvanized fittings, all exposed, and it means that we've got this trunk in, so when we're putting the cameras in this weekend on the corner of the buildings, we can just tap into that, which is brilliant, no exposed. So there's no exposed wires or anything in here, it's all in that galvanized, which is nice. This, as I said before, this is going to go, the route is going to be out of the wall, 200 duct this way to feed this machine and this machine, and then 200 that way, not this center one, and that's going to come along and feed whatever goes along here. As I said, I've now decided to put this thing out in the barn. It's dry out there now. This is the lathe. My son is still using it. I was going to sell it, but my son is still using it, so we'll get that out of my way, and I can finally put my bandsaw around and clear this whole area. The beast here is still processing. I know I haven't done an in-depth on it. I'm still kind of learning. I'm not 100% sure how good the finish is, the way it's set up at the moment with the final finish. It's great for planing. It's great for sort of 80 grit, but I'm not getting the kind of finish I was hoping on the outfeed side. So I may get someone in, or I may do some experimenting on settings with the heights of the rollers, and that's quite a lot in depth to do. Once I get my head around that and I have the time, I will definitely be taking you through it. The dust extraction we put in is insane, and that's the similar stuff we're going to be putting in over here, the clip stuff. So that's all coming soon. This is a beast. I've got videos on this. If you're new to the channel here and you're watching me, all of these machines, I have videos. So just look through my videos. You'll see, other than in-depth on this, you'll see me using it, but other than in-depth, I have videos on everything, the bandsaws, the lot. So you can always catch up with all that stuff if you go back into the history. When we were doing the latest couple of plunge pools, sort of a really swanky West End sauna place, I knew there was going to be lots of cutting of staves. So I whipped this from my multifunction MFT, which a multifunction workbench or dream workbench. I've got a video on that as well. This is still the same one I had about 8 years ago, this little unit, and I just removed it. And I discovered that, luckily, I built it exactly the right height for the Festool kind of wings or in-feed, out-feed side of it with the measuring. And I looked into making my own and all the stuff, and I didn't know where I want to put it. And this is so cost-effective. It's accurate as hell. Clipped it on, cracked on working. So that was a game changer. And I'm actually liking the space under there for, we need to clear up at the off-cut bins and whatnot. So that's probably going to be a permanent feature. I really like it. I've really enjoyed using that. Okay, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed that little whirlwind tour. It's not a full shop tour. I'm going to do that when the whole thing's operational. God knows when that will be. It's doing it as quick as we can. But it kind of brings me to the question everyone's going to say, it's kind of my regulars are going to be saying, I wish we could do more videos and we're really missing you. And I miss making the videos. I love making the videos, but I have to be realistic. And since the fire, I've realized the amount of time I'm taking on these videos, and it really slowing down my work. I make my money not making videos, unfortunately. I wish I did, but I get very little money from YouTube, if any. So I'm making my money making furniture, designing stuff, working with slabs and that. So I have to prioritize. And then since having to rebuild this, make all the windows, the doors, everything that the builders didn't do, the frame and the roof, has been a massive task. It's been enjoyable, but it's also been hard, and keeping up with the orders. So I'm just scaling back the videos. We may get back to a shop talk when everything's lovely and I'm up to date and I can just walk in there on a Sunday, do a video and send it out. But at the moment, I don't see that happening for quite a while. There's still a lot to do with building work, and it never stops. Now we've got the CCTV to completely install and get online, along with some other security thing, all that kind of stuff that the insurance wants. So there's loads and loads to do, and that's still carrying on with my daily workload. We've got table orders, shows to do. So that's what's slowed down the YouTube thing. Don't think for 1 minute that I don't enjoy doing it. I absolutely love it. I just don't have the time, and it really can't be a priority at this point. So there'll be more videos coming. Patrons get a few more diaries because it's a little bit more relaxed and I don't have to worry about the whole world looking at it. It's only my private group. So if you're really interested and you want to support making these videos, just go onto the Patreon page, pledge what you can, probably less than a cup of coffee a month. That's average what people are sending, and that's all welcome. So till the next one, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all then. Bye.